British Triathlon, proudly partnered by GE. Imagination at work.
Hello and welcome to a brand new season of triathlon. Different year, same stunning courses and the usual array of youth and experience trying to win the prestigious British Super Series titles once again. Round 1 of 5 has brought us to Scotland for the GE Strathclyde Park Triathlon. And if the long campaign of 2010 is half as good as the one we enjoyed 12 months ago, well, we're in for quite a ride. In the fast-moving sport of triathlon, a lot can change in a year, so there's a great sense of anticipation here at Strathclyde Country Park as we prepare to do it all over again. ...2009 was the most successful international season in British triathlon history, with world champions registered at every major distance. And that means this year's battle to be best of British will be even more intense. Inaugural series champion Richard Stannard will be racing here, but a crowd of youngsters, particularly the Scots and a couple of French visitors, will make the men's elite race particularly competitive. Over the last few years, Strathclyde Country Park in North Lanarkshire has become used to hosting the opening event of the British Triathlon Super Series, bringing top triathletes to Scotland. Next year, the region will also welcome the best young athletes in the world at the Lanarkshire International Children's Games 2011. Today, before the pros hit the loft for the 2010 Super Series opening races, there are amateur events for competitors fast and slow, young, old and in between, with a rare opportunity to see two former track legends racing on the same circuit. 1988 Olympic 3,000 metre bronze medalist Yvonne Murray and 1987 World Athletics Championship silver medalist in the high hurdles John Ridgen are both taking part in the amateur races here in Strathclyde. All levels are catered for, with Ridgen racing solo over the 26k sprint distance and Murray running the glory leg for a relay outfit.
Team Murray is taking part, so we've got someone doing swim, someone doing cycling, and myself, I'm taking part in doing the 2.5 kilometres. So yeah, it's about 10 years since I last have competed in a race, so this is, I'm looking forward to it actually, and it's a fantastic venue, Strathclyde Country Park, venue for the 2014 Commonwealth Games Triathlon. To be part of such a high-profile event as well, and to have a novice event, so you can get a lot of the youngsters can take part and experience what the triathlon's all about, is absolutely superb, yeah.
John, that looks a pretty solid effort.
Well, it was hard work, but it was great. I think the sprint distance is just perfect as well, so when you're perhaps not as fit as you should be, like myself, it's just the perfect introductory distance, so anyone can struggle around that, and it's great. It's a great sport, this. I can now sit back this afternoon and watch how the elite men and women do it properly and realise they're in a different world to me.
After all the training, it's time for the 2010 Super Series to begin. 5 races that finish in South Wales via Blenheim, Windsor and London. But it all starts right here, right now. So let's join our seasoned pro, Patrick Winterton, in the commentary box.
Thanks, Rob, and welcome to the GE Strathclyde Park ITU Triathlon European Cup, which involves a swim of 1,500 metres, 40 kilometres on the bike, and then they finish it off with a blistering quick 10-kilometre run. The elite women looking for a good swim just to keep themselves in the race. Mirror calm waters here on Strathclyde Lock, and ideal conditions to test out the fitness in this early start of the season. Kirsty McWilliam straight to the front, as she promised us she would do, and Abby Thorington should be moving up alongside her. There is Thorington, fantastic swimmer, and certainly been talking positively about her training over the last couple of months.
Anything can happen on the day, but I certainly know from my swimming and cycling how it's gone over the winter. I'm stronger than I was last year. I'm hoping 2 other athletes can go off the front and get a bit of a gap.
Well, it's not so often you see a significant gap like this. Thorrington has done fantastic work here, beautifully smooth swimming, long reach, and then the pull, and she's got herself clear with only McWilliam for company in the early stages.
Triathlon is a sport constantly trying to evolve, and a common sight nowadays is a short, sharp run through the swim section. It interrupts your rhythm and it interrupts your tactics because it allows the opponent to see where you are on the course. In fact, the only people who really benefit are the spectators. As expected, it's Thorrington leading the way here and making sure she's not losing touch with Kirsty McWilliam. The 20-year-old Scot is tipped for major titles in the future, and here it was all looking like good drills for the Commonwealth Games coming up on this course in a few years' time.
It's brilliant to be able to get the opportunity to do big races here before the actual event, but it's brilliant that we've managed to get the Commonwealths here.
And have you got quite a lot of home support cheering you on this weekend?
I hope I do, yes.
The two youngsters hit the shore with 50 seconds advantage on the next trio that included Heather Jackson and Jackie Slack, themselves in with a good lead over the main bunch. On previous form, those 50 seconds should have been race-winning for the strong-running McWilliam, but the Scot is still new to this distance and on her way back from injury, so couldn't match the demands Thorrington was making on the bike. Abby, therefore, had little option but to wait for Jackson and Slack to catch up and form a trio up front who worked well together for the remaining laps of the 40-kilometre ride. Behind them, another trio of overseas youngsters, Australia's Charlotte McShane, Tom Deur of Belgium and Kotwika of Poland, kept the damage down to a minute by the transition to the 10k run. A hot day up north would take its toll, though. Of the front three, Jackson soon found her progress hampered by cramp. Jackson would find it impossible to get back with the leaders and find it hard just to stay ahead of the chasing Belgian and Australian. Out on the course, two became one up front as Thorrington struggled some more, finding herself overtaken by Jackson, who was battling on towards the finish. So the challenge was over from Thorrington, but could the Belgian Tom Deur, now in second place, catch Jackie Slack? She was certainly lapping faster, and the coaching staff thought she was in with a chance. Some predicted a challenge from the Aussie McShane, but she was serving a 15-second stop-go penalty for an infraction in transition as Jackie Slack was heading on to another lap. That left only the Belgian to fend off for the win, and with Tom Deur gaining only 15 seconds per lap, 3 circuits would not be enough.
Well, what a story for Jackie Slack. Easily the biggest result of her career so far. She is going to become the first winner of the British Triathlon Super Series for 2010.
Jackie, that was superb.
Thank you. Very pleased with the race. A bit unexpected.
We knew that Abby Thorrington was going to take it out hard, and Kirsty McWilliam was obviously going to go for it as well. She struggled, but did you believe you could win?
I didn't believe I could win, to be honest with you. I was expecting the top 3 or maybe top 5.
Well, I gather you've been down in Australia training, so you haven't just come back with a tan, you've come back with some extra stamina as well.
More to come, hopefully. I've got plenty in Windsor and then the other races, so see how it goes.
Well done today.
Thank you.
With plenty of Scottish family, Australian Charlotte McShane completed the podium to massive local applause. Charlotte Roach running her way into 4th ahead of Kotwika. McWilliam made it home in 12th. Like the other early leader, Abby Thorrington, she's on her road to recovery, and there will be better days ahead. So the season is well and truly underway. We have our first elite winner. Next come the men. Will the inaugural series champion Richard Stannard prove that he's back to fitness, or will one of the young guns like Aaron Harris come through for the honours? Join us in a couple of minutes.
British Triathlon, proudly partnered by GE. Imagination at work.
Welcome back to Scotland and the GE Strathclyde Park Triathlon. We've already seen the elite women kickstart their Super Series bid for 2010. Now it's the men's turn to taste the quality opposition and the loch. Let's have a look at who could feature from the talented cast of characters assembled here today. A spectacular start for a top field in the men's event. Proven campaigners, young talents, and somewhere in the washing machine is one of the latter, the 22-year-old Scottish #1, David McNamee.
Oh, the swim's going to be really fast. There's two young French athletes who are both sort of some of the best swimmers in the world in triathlon-wise, so I think tomorrow it's going to be a fast swim, and then you've got a lot of strong cyclists who are going to try and catch up, so I think it's going to be action-packed the whole way through.
Good work with the crystal ball. McNamee would be right on both counts. The two young Frenchmen, Vincent Louis and Aurélien Raphael, led at the halfway stage of the swim, and the race they were leading was destined to be action-packed. The two French are great swimmers, but the man with the biggest reputation to maintain in the water was 2008 series champion Richard Stannard, back after missing almost the entire season in 2009 through injury.
I'm completely in the dark as to where I'm at fitness-wise. I'll get in, I know I can swim, so if I can live with the guys on the swim. I've been working hard on some time trialling on the bike, so if it's a small group of us, that'll be fantastic. And the run is a lottery. I'm a bit in the dark as to where I'll come, but I'm going to have some fun.
And what could be more fun for Stannard than nicking the lead back from the French just before the first transition, where we pick up the action with your race commentator, Patrick Winterton.
Good tactics again from Stannard. He's kept in the pack and then just put on a burst with the last 100 metres to go. Once again, first out of the water. So it's Stannard lead, Wiltshire in second, the two Frenchmen, Louis and Raphael in third and fourth. Here comes Bowden on the right of your picture wearing 19. He's had a good swim, an excellent swim from Bowden. Now all he's got to do is get through the transition safely. Onto the bike, of course, for the next section. 40 kilometres to be covered. No massive climbs, but they are short and sharp. And after 7 laps, they'll certainly start to feel it in the legs. Heavy breathing from Stannard. There's McNamee, one of the local favourites. Two Frenchmen, very, very slick drills from them. Onto the bike they go, so important to get into that lead group. There goes Bradley Hales with slightly unorthodox mounting of the bike. Here comes Bowden, oh, and straight over the top of the handlebars. There's a man showing his inexperience. He's only been a triathlete for 18 months, and Bowden has really thrown away his chance of getting onto the lead group. He's got a huge amount of work to do now as he drops down the positions. Jenkins goes out in the second group. These are the leaders. Bradley Hales on the right of your picture with Wiltshire and the Frenchman. Richard Stannard, an excellent start for him, but he knows exactly what's still to come.
It's hilly, it's deceptively hilly. You go out on the bike and it's undulating the course. There's a technical section through transition, and then the run again is out onto the bike course the same, so it's hilly as well. So it's a challenging course, deceptively challenging, I think.
There's the local man, David McNamee. He's been doing a bit of training in Spain this year, looks in good shape.
Is it a course that suits you?
Yeah, definitely. I like sort of like a tough person's course, and with the hilly bike and a hilly run course, I think I'll sort of play to my advantages.
McNamee being tracked closely by the two Frenchmen, Louis and Raphael. Everyone taking their turn at the front in the lead group. Here's the chasing group, Dernier leading the way. We've got Nichols in there as well. Bowden has got himself into that second group. Harris in red, Jenkins in blue. Third from the back. And they've got some work to do. The leaders round the turn, 7 times round this loop, remember, 10 in the leading group now. And it is a technical course. The Frenchmen tend to surge. This could be the first of those coming up. Louis settling in the lead, but his teammate Raphael is making an early break. That is some burst of speed. Well, he's opened up a significant gap in the space of about 60 metres, but nothing comes for free in this game. And he's not tempted the rest of the leading group to go with him. So an interesting development. Oh, and that's an absolute disaster there for Bradley Hales. He's clipped the rear wheel of the rider in front of him, and he has taken Richard Stannard out as well. Stannard appears uninjured. That's the important thing, but what about the bike? Well, that front wheel must be buckled. He's getting no joy out of that. And if this goes on for another 30 seconds, I think it's safe to say that Stannard is out. Bradley Hales keeping a low profile. He knows that that was his mistake. And I think there'll be a few words of advice from Stannard. He says, do your turn. I think the lesson will be learned, but at least no one's hurt on this occasion.
By the time the leader Raphael was on his way round again, Richard Stannard was reduced to the role of spectator. The Frenchman, however, seemed not to value la liberté as much as a bit of fraternité, and it was look no hands for the cameras as he waited for Matt Sharp to lead the pack straight back to him. But the lead group had to work hard to stay ahead of the second pack, which contained the fast-running Adam Bowden and Scotland's Richie Nichols in black here and among the fastest runners in the field, along with Brian Keane in green and yellow, who might run the legs off the lot of them. But the Irishman was stuck in the third pack after a pretty slow swim and facing a very hard ride to get back in the game. McNamee in the lead group came off the bike chasing Vincent Luis out front, with his compatriot Raphael also showing quick drills in transition to make it a French 1-2 at the front. The second group had over a minute to make up on those leaders, not unthinkable for the likes of Aaron Harris in red here and Richie Nichols to his left. By the end of the first of 3 laps, it was Nichols doing most of the damage, gaining around 10 places to reach 5th. Anything seemed possible for him now, yet another athlete in a comeback race after a long period of injury.
To be honest, it's my first race in a couple of years, really. First proper race in a couple of years, so I just wanted to go out there and just get a good hit out and use it as a building block for the season.
It's quite a tough cycle course, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. There's nothing major, but after 7 laps, it takes out your legs for the run.
McNamee and the Australian Royal were using what was left in their legs in an epic battle for third. While up front with 6k to go, it was Raphael's turn to fly the flag as he eased past Lewis into the lead.
So the 2 French out front, then comes McNamee, Scotland's #1, Royal the Australian, and let's not forget about Richie Nichols carving his way through the field. It could get very, very close in the closing stages.
With just over 5 kilometres still to go, Richie Nichols looking very smooth indeed. This is an excellent run from him. Remember, he's been off injured for some time. At the back of 2008, he thought about taking up running as opposed to triathlon, but I think this performance will certainly encourage him. Well, excellent piece of juggling from the assistant there. Nichols gets the water that he needs for the latter half of this race. Up alongside the Australian Royal there, and going past McNamee as well. So 2 Scots in that group of 3, but the Frenchman still out in front, with a little bit of space between them and the chasers. The 2 Frenchmen still out front. Raphael, who put in those extravagant bursts on the bike ride, might just be paying for that now. The tempo is well down on the chasers like Richie Nichols. Lewis hanging on to second, but his stride getting shorter and shorter as the race goes on. Now he can start to think about trying to wind it up if he wants to stay in a podium spot. Well, it really is a superb run from Nichols. He's just moving from second, or from third up into second, and now sets his mind on the leaders. Aaron Harris alongside Phil Wolfe. Wolfe finishing third in the Super Series last year, having a good start this season as well. And what about this man? It is Brian Keane from Ireland, who's not the prettiest of runners, but my goodness, is he travelling. An excellent run from him so far, way outside the top 15 at the transition, and he's got himself now into the top 10. Raphael with a little bit of water, will that do the trick? He's now only got some 50 metres between himself and Nichols, but he won't be aware that Nichols was a minute 30 behind at T2. McNamee and Royal working well together, and they go past Lewis, former junior world champion, without any trouble at all. McNamee certainly looking very determined on home soil, and he said he liked the hills, and he seems to be just pushing up that work rate a little. Will it be enough to blow away the Australian in the green vest? Certainly Royal looking to suffer a little. No response from Lewis at the moment, and McNamee will be thinking about moving up into the top two because he has upped the rate. He's opened up 5 metres on the 2 men he's been running alongside. Nichols now closes in on the lead. It's taken him no time at all to close that 50-metre gap. Will he wait and rest? No, of course he won't. He goes straight through. Fine performance for the man from Montrose originally. That's up on the east coast of Scotland. Now studying down in Swansea and enjoying a fantastic comeback race. Excellent performance from him. Victory looking pretty much in the bag.
With 1 3K lap to go on the run, McNamee was to delight the home support and make it a Scotland 1-2. But this was as close to Richie Nichols as he was likely to get before the finish. Behind them both, Irishman Brian Keane was tearing through the field with an incredible run that would take him from nowhere up to 3rd place and in sight of McNamee late on in the run.
Will Clark has won this race for the last 3 years, but we have a new victor this year, and it's Richie Nichols of Scotland who storms home to take the victory and the bulk of the prize money. Excellent performance by him. What a comeback. David McNamee, training in Spain over the winter months. It's paid off. He claims 2nd place, and coming up behind Brian Keane of Ireland, the fastest run of the day, to get himself into 3rd place.
Richie, what a performance.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that today. The main thing I'm happy with my swim, I just can't believe how far up it was. I was really happy with that, and definitely something to build on for the season. Great race by me and David and Brian today. It's great.
1-2 for Scotland, and how much did that hurt on the last lap?
The last lap, I knew the Irish boy was catching me and just took the whole way around. I was just trying to make sure I didn't lose too much time to Richie, but it was phenomenal today, Richie.
Brian, you're a bit of an animal. You came through the field there at the end of the run like a wild man.
It was all or nothing. I had to, I gave it loads. Had to just dig in, and you know, you give guys like that a minute or a minute and a half head start, and you got to really work hard for it. So I worked hard, and I got a result.
It was the fastest run split for Keane, though only 7 seconds faster than Nichols, whose all-round performance won the day. 5th for Adam Bowden, who fought back bravely from his crash to overtake both Frenchmen before the finish.
So many positives from the swim. And you know, the transition, I come out the water, I was a bit like dazed. I'm starting to visualise what I'm going to do on the bike. Just wobbled, I was bruised, like my shin was killing me, my arm was not working as well, and you just got to be strong and push through, and there you go. I'm still over the moon, and big race, it's in world-class field, and I'm right there, you know, once I can sort my transitions out.
No comeback was possible for either Bradley Hales or Richard Stannard after their clash.
He came down and I had nowhere to go except over the top of him. Fortunately for both of us, we ended up hitting the grass, so there's no broken bones or anything. But I've got a broken bike, front wheel won't turn round, it's lost some spokes, so absolutely gutted. It's been a long road back from being hit by a car to try and get to this race, but I'm going to go and do some run reps now, so I feel like I've done some work today, so I'll see you at the next one.
So congratulations to Richie Nichols and Jackie Slack, the perfect start to the season. For the rest of the triathletes, an opportunity to regather and regroup amidst the regal splendour of Blenheim and round 2. One thing's for certain, in the sunshine of Strathclyde, the 2010 Super Series has started with a bang. From everybody here in Scotland, bye for now.
British Triathlon, proudly partnered by GE. Imagination at work.